This video is gonna be money. Get it? Did you get it? Did you get it? Cause money okay, I'll get into the video. Greetings, people of the interwebs. It's Dan here. I just solved a huge mic problem and I feel very proud of myself, so I'm super psyched before this video, so just fair warning, okay? I might be a little bit more hyperactive than usual, but welcome to my WWE 2016 Money in the Bank prediction, the one night of the year where we all, as fans, wait in anticipation to see which superstar gets to lose to Roman Reigns when they cash in the briefcase. That's the point where we're at now. But anyway, yes, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view is tomorrow night, and honestly, the main event means way more to me than the ladder match itself, because I know whoever wins the ladder match, if Roman Reigns is still champion after tomorrow night, is just going to lose to Roman Reigns as soon as they cash in. Anyway, so I'm going to just get into it, go straight into the prediction, starting with the pre-show. So the first match on the pre-show, evidently, Baron Corbin is only allowed to fight Dolph Ziggler. Now, fair warning, I haven't been watching WWE television the last several weeks since, like, the Raw After Extreme Rules. After that Seth Rollins segment at the Raw After Extreme Rules, I just turned it off because I was so pissed. But, anyway, I haven't been watching WWE television very much the last several weeks, so I haven't seen the build very much, so I wouldn't know much of the storylines going into it. But regardless, apparently Corbin and Ziggler are still fighting for some reason. What did their feud start over anyway? Because I know that they started feuding, like, before Payback, and Payback was the first match that they had. But this is 3 straight pay-per-views that they've had a fight at. Like, this is Payback, Extreme Rules, and now Money in the Bank that they've had a fight at. What did the feud start over? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I see Baron Corbin going over, and in a big way, he's probably going to pulverize Dolph Ziggler into the ground. And Dolph Ziggler could get, like, a kayfabe career-threatening injury that could put him out for several months, and then he could go away to another promotion and regain his momentum. I don't know. I want the old Dolph Ziggler back. I want 2014 Survivor Series Dolph Ziggler back. Give him to me, please. But yeah, I see Corbin going over by far. You know, he's sort of like that new blood that needs to come in. And speaking of new blood, the second match on the pre-show, it's the New Era versus the Old Guard. It is Apollo Crews versus Sheamus, and actually I saw the very beginning of the build for this rivalry, and I've seen bits and pieces of it over the last couple of weeks, and it actually seems interesting because Apollo Crews is getting some character development now, which is great, because before it was just like, oh, look, hey, there's Apollo Crews, he's a dude from NXT, right? But now, the casual fan that doesn't really watch NXT is getting an idea of who Apollo Crews is. So that's great. I love the fact that Apollo Crews is finally getting some character development, and he has a match with Sheamus. I genuinely see Apollo Crews going over because I want Apollo Crews to go really far because I feel like he's really talented and he's got some potential to go far in the company. So I kind of want Apollo Crews to go over in this match. I wouldn't be surprised if they had Sheamus go over, though, and maybe continued this rivalry for a little bit longer, but I really do want Crews to go over. Now, moving on to the main card, there are 6 matches on the main card for Extreme Rules 2006, not Extreme Rules, Money in the Bank 2016. Duh. Money in the Bank 2016 has 6 matches on the main card. Gah. It's been a hard week. But anyway, 6 matches on the main card for Money in the Bank. The first one that I'm going to predict is genuinely the bathroom break match. That's why I'm getting it over first. Literally, the Divas matches, or the women's matches, for this pay-per-view at least, are going back to the bathroom break match, because it's just a tag match between Dana Brooke and Charlotte versus Becky Lynch and Natalya. So, I mean, purely because, like, Becky Lynch, I love Becky Lynch, she's one of my favorite divas on the roster right now, and purely for that point alone, I'm going to say that Becky Lynch and Natalya go over in this match over Charlotte and Dana Brooke. So, there you go, done and dusted. Next up is a really interesting match, though. I wish I could have seen the build to this. This is kind of the little things that make me regret not watching WWE TV, but it's Titus O'Neil versus Rusev for the United States Championship. I wanted to see this build, because, like, once I saw that this match was happening, I'm like, where did the build happen? Like, when did the rivalry start? What did it start over? Because, like, I genuinely thought Titus O'Neil was dead in the water after that incident with Vince, where he got, like, suspended for 60 or 90 days, or however long. I thought he was dead in the water and his career was done. But no, he's actually getting a title shot at a pay-per-view. One of the bigger, if you think about it, one of the bigger pay-per-views of the year in Money in the Bank. So I would say that that's pretty good for a guy that just came off of like a 3-month suspension. You know, I'd love to be able to see Titus O'Neil get the belt, because whenever you think about it, whoever has the United States Championship within the next month or two is going to be feuding with John Cena, because the WWE needs to get John Cena back in the U.S. title picture. Once this whole thing between him and AJ Styles cools down, they have to get him back in the U.S. title picture, because it's gotten boring, it's gotten stale. Ever since Del Rio won it at Hell in a Cell, it's sort of just gone... bad whistle. But anyway, it's just sort of gone... I can't whistle. Dang it. Okay, anyway, but it's just sort of plummeted down in terms of its stock, you know, as a championship, as a title. And it just needs the prestige again. So I feel like whoever has the belt on them within the next couple of months is going to go into a feud with John Cena. And that's why I want to see Titus O'Neil win the belt. Because I want Titus O'Neil's stock in the company to rise. I want him to become a better superstar within the company. Because when you think about it, whether you like John Cena or not, I know a lot of WWE fans hate John Cena. I don't like him personally myself. But, you know, when you get in a match with John Cena, your stock immediately goes up. It immediately goes up, like, through the roof. You know, and, you know, you look at all the guys that participated in the U.S. Open Challenge. All those guys had their stocks immediately risen in the company because they were in some form of contact with John Cena. Like, that's that kind of stigma that hangs over the top guy in the company. Like, your stock isn't going to rise if you're in a match with Roman Reigns. That's not a big deal. You're just going to lose anyway. But if you're in a match with, you know, say a John Cena, or maybe like back in the 80s if you were in a match with like Hulk Hogan, or if like before John Cena was around you were in a match with like Kurt Angle, or Shawn Michaels, or The Undertaker, or Triple H, your stock in that company automatically went up because you were facing the top guy in the company. Titus O'Neil has that same opportunity if he can go over against Rusev. Although, I feel like maybe they could have Rusev retain, but I don't want them to send Rusev into a similar title feud with John Cena as they had back in 2015 leading into Mania 31. I don't want that, because that's just not good. I wouldn't want them repeating a storyline, or repeating a storyline, or repeating a storyline, or an angle. Because, I mean, gee, wonder where we've seen that before. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the Titus O'Neil versus Rusev match. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept the belt on Rusev, but I really want Titus O'Neil to go over. Next up is AJ Styles versus John Cena. Now, AJ Styles is one guy that a lot of people wanted to see in the Money in the Bank ladder match, but he got knocked out. He got KO'd, no pun intended, by Kevin Owens. And, I mean, I'm honestly glad that AJ Styles isn't in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and I'll tell you why. Because he's already lost 2 title matches, 2 title shots. Payback, Extreme Rules. He lost both of them. And plus, he's Mr. TNA, he's the King of the Indies, all that stuff, etc. Do you really think that they're even going to come close to having him win the big belt, Vince's baby? Do you really think that he's going to put the belt... Do you really think that Vince would give his ego enough of a break to put the belt around Mr. TNA? He's not. So even if AJ Styles got into the ladder match for Money in the Bank, and even if he won the briefcase, they'd pull a Sandow on him and have him lose. So, I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But anyway, AJ Styles versus John Cena. The Club, a.k.a. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, are banned from ringside. I don't know if Luke Gallows is officially being called Doc Gallows anymore. Sounds kind of dumb, but I'm still going to call him Luke Gallows for all intents and purposes. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are banned from ringside from helping AJ Styles, which I don't really have a problem with. They weren't really making much of an impact in his 2 title matches that he lost, where at Extreme Rules, Roman Reigns kicked out of 2 Styles clashes, 1 on a steel chair, Magic Killer, Boot of Doom, Absolute Beatdown, ran over, okay? So they haven't made much of an impact in his last couple of pay-per-view matches against Roman Reigns. But I don't have a problem with them being barred from ringside. That's it. But in terms of who's going to win, you know, it's John Cena's first pay-per-view match back from injury. You could say, oh, but he had that WrestleMania thing with The Rock. That wasn't an official match. That was just sort of a, oh, look, two big legends of the sport. Look here. And John Cena's coming back from injury, but not really. So, I mean, I don't feel like WrestleMania counted. But, you know, and all he did was deliver an AA, basically, and a couple of shoulder tackles. So that doesn't really count. So, but this is his first pay-per-view match back. I feel like I don't want John Cena to go over, but I feel like that's the only choice that WWE see possible, even though there are so many ways that you could go about this. You know, maybe like have AJ Styles go over and actually turn him heel. Like, I don't know, because John Cena is such a hated babyface, he's turning into another Roman Reigns. You know, WWE thought Roman Reigns was going to turn into the next John Cena. John Cena is turning into the next Roman Reigns. You know, he's such a hated babyface that they may cheer AJ Styles if he goes over, while they're trying to portray him as a heel. So, I'm thinking they could take this in a bunch of different ways. They could either have Cena go over, or they could have Styles go over and have him turn viciously heel. Like, maybe have Styles go over and the rivalry go in with an actual babyface, beat him senseless, and have him actually turn heel. So, I don't know. They could go a bunch of different ways with it, but in all honesty, I feel like Cena's going to go over. It's unfortunate, but it's probably just a fact. Cena is probably going to go over. That's the thing. It's not what I want to happen, but it's probably what's going to happen. Cena to win. Now, this one, I want to see the build for this, man, because this could be the match of the night. It's a fatal four-way for the WWE tag titles. Holy crap, when did this happen? When did this happen? Seriously. So, it's the New Day, who are holding the titles currently. It's Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, the Club. It's Enzo and Cass and the Vaudevillains are all in a fatal four-way tag match for the WWE World Tag Championships. Oh, that could be so good. As long as WWE don't mess it up completely, that could be the match of the night. That could be a match of the year candidate with the workers that you have in there. Because the Vaudevillains, even though people give them crap, oh, they botched the rope spot with Enzo at Payback. Whatever. You know, they're good workers. They're pretty talented. I mean, like, they're not really over with the fans, even as heels. But, you know, I mean, they're good workers. And then you've, of course, got the New Day. New Day rocks. New Day rocks. They're way over. They're over the moon. You've got Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, who are absolutely over with the fans, even though they're heels. They're over, like, almost in a babyface form of over, even though they're heels. And then you, of course, have Enzo and Cass, who are massive babyfaces. Just came out from NXT. I feel like the way this is going to go out is, you know, the Vaudevillains and Anderson and Gallows are going to really hold their own, but Anderson and Gallows and Enzo and Cass are going to really dominate more than the Vaudevillains. And then this could lead into, like, a 3-team feud, and then maybe Anderson and Gallows could go against Enzo and Cass for a #1 contenders match for the tag titles on, like, Raw or SmackDown, and then that #1 contender goes on to face New Day at SummerSlam. That could be great. Honestly, genuinely, that could be awesome. Again, they could go a number of different ways with this. But honestly, the New Day are probably going to retain. I could honestly see them losing the titles at SummerSlam. I could see them losing the titles at the same pay-per-view that they won them at last year. And as I said in my Extreme Rules pay-per-view, either review or preview, I'm not sure. But as I said in one of my Extreme Rules videos, they don't need the titles to be over with the fans. They could be over the moon with the fans without the titles because they're such great promo cutters. But I feel like the time for them to lose them would be at SummerSlam. If it wasn't like at WrestleMania or at, I don't know, if it wasn't at like WrestleMania or at Extreme Rules, it would probably have to be SummerSlam. So I feel like New Day are going to go over, they're going to retain the titles, and then it's going to set up something to do with Enzo and Cass or Anderson and Gallows leading into SummerSlam. That's what I hope. So yeah, that's what I think, New Day to retain. That's the end of that. And now the main event. Oh boy, this is so exciting. This could be great. Literally, this could be the match of the year. This could be on the level of Nakamura versus Zayn, if WWE book it right. Probably won't, but if they book it right, this could be on the level of Nakamura versus Zayn. I'm not even joking. It is Seth Rollins making his in-ring official match day re-return thingy against Roman Reigns for the title that Seth never lost. Oh, it's so good to just be able to say that, because I feel like Seth has just been waiting and waiting and waiting. I was watching the WWE 24 documentary that they made on Seth Rollins. just a little while ago. And he was talking about how he just wanted to get back, man, and reclaim the title. Like, even outside of character, he was wanting to reclaim the title. You know, that was his goal. And I feel like the WWE want him to go places, because after WrestleMania, even though he was an absolute cowardly heel, the fans loved him. They loved him. And they missed him so much while he was gone for like 7 months. And then they brought him back as a heel. But I won't get into that. I won't get into why that pisses me off. But anyway, they brought Seth Rollins back as a heel. That's a whole different story. But anyway, excuse me. Anyway, they start to, you know, he started to discuss how even out of character as Colby Lopez and not Seth Rollins, his goal was to gain back the championship. So, I want to say it could go either way, but I just don't. I don't see Seth Rollins going over, and that pisses me off, man. And, like, seriously, genuinely, after Money in the Bank, if Seth Rollins doesn't go over, and if Roman Reigns retains the title in some fluky bullshit way, like he did at Payback or Extreme Rules, you're going to hear another rant from me. Trust me. You're going to get another rant video on Roman Reigns. It may take a little while for me to sort my thoughts out and for it to not just be a yelly combo of just bleh, but you're going to get another rant video from me. Trust me. And it would just piss me off so bad if they had Roman Reigns, you know, beat Seth Rollins in a fluky way. If they haven't beat him in a decent way, I wouldn't mind that. But if they haven't beat him in the same fluky bullshit way that he beat AJ Styles at Payback and Extreme Rules, I'm going to be pissed. But yeah, I would love Seth Rollins to go over. I'd love for Seth Rollins to win the title. But I also feel like if they book Roman Reigns to retain correctly, they could maybe set up a rematch for SummerSlam. If they did it correctly to the point where they didn't piss off the fans to no end. Because seriously, like, to the fans, this is the point of no return. If Seth Rollins, one of the top guys in the company, outside of maybe like John Cena, maybe, and allegedly Roman Reigns, but if Seth Rollins can't even beat Roman Reigns, who the hell can? Like, this is literally the point of no return in terms of will Roman Reigns' title bout or title span ever be broken within a reasonable amount of time. If it's not broken here, then fans will literally boycott WWE. I will bet. Fans will probably boycott SummerSlam. They'll probably see, like, all-time low, you know, viewer rates for SummerSlam and probably all-time low, like, ticket sales for, like, Raw and SmackDown, because Reigns is just, like, that hated. I bet there are some fans that would be willing to boycott WWE purely because Roman Reigns is the champion, but anyway, that's beside the point. I would love for Seth Rollins to go over and gain back the title he never lost, but I will say this. If they book Roman to retain in a good way, and if they actually make him look strong and not just make him look superhuman, then I won't have a problem with it. I'll say, fair enough. This will probably set something up for SummerSlam. Or, if Dean Ambrose wins the Money in the Bank ladder match, I hope they have Dean cash in the night of. Because I think there's been one guy who's cashed in the night of. I can't remember who it was, but there was one guy I think who's cashed in the night of. And, but I'd love to be able to see, you know, Dean Ambrose cash in that briefcase at either Money in the Bank or at SummerSlam to turn it into a triple threat between all three members of the Shield. That'd be amazing. Like, excuse me, the door for that angle is wide open. All WWE need to do is just, you know, jump through it. You know, the door's wide open, they just need to walk through it. And it will open up the door to flowers and rainbows and unicorns and happy fans everywhere. But Vince doesn't like us to have fun. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed my Money in the Bank 2016 preview and predictions video. If you did, please leave a like down below. Also, leave a comment below. Let me know if you agree with my predictions, if you don't agree with my predictions, what you think I should have predicted differently, anything else to do with any kind of predictions. Don't ask me to predict the future, though. Anyway, but like I said, leave a like down below, and also, while you're down there, do not forget to hit that little red button to subscribe so you do not miss a video, and you get email and text alerts every time I upload a new one. And on that note, I shall see you at a later date. Farewell. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is the day after I recorded my Money in the Bank 2016 predictions video. I'm going to run through this kind of fast because I've got other stuff to do today, but regardless, I'm going to bring you guys this really quick. They made some modifications to the card, and also, I forgot to predict the Money in the Bank match. What the hell? I know. It's a Money in the Bank pay-per-view predictions video, and I forgot to predict the Money in the Bank match. How bad am I? But anyway, the modifications that they made to the pre-show, they added a bunch of tag matches. Don't know why. They added a tag match between the Lucha Dragons and the Dudley Boys, and they added a tag match between the Golden Truth, which is Goldust and R-Truth, and Breezango, which is Tyler Breeze and Fandango, the two pretty boys of WWE. And according to the main page, those are according to the Wikipedia page, those are actually going to be on the pre-show, and the two pre-show matches are getting pushed to the main card. I'm assuming that those two matches are either going to, one of them is going to get relegated back to the pre-show, or they're both going to kick off the show. I'm just assuming. So yeah, that's basically the update on the modifications to the Money in the Bank card. The tag matches between Lucha Dragons and the Dudley Boys, and then the tag match between the Golden Truth and Tyler Breeze and Fandango have been booked for Money in the Bank. I have no idea how that happened. It probably happened like on SmackDown or something, and it got added at the last second. So anyway, also the Money in the Bank ladder match. I wanted to predict that because I forgot to in my main predictions video. So the participants in the Money in the Bank ladder match are Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Alberto Del Rio, Sami Zayn, Dean Ambrose, and Chris Jericho. Now, I really want Dean Ambrose to win, I'll say that, because I'm hoping that he either cashes in the night of winning it, because I believe there's only been one Money in the Bank winner to cash in the night of, or he could cash in, assuming they repeat this main event at SummerSlam of Rollins, the reigns for the championship. Ambrose could cash in at SummerSlam, but at the beginning of the match to make it a triple threat. I'd love to see him cash in at the beginning of the match to make it a triple threat between all three former members of the Shield. That would be insane. Who would I least like to win it? Probably Chris Jericho. You know, because they can't do much with Chris Jericho. I mean, I get that he's one of the signature innovators of the Money in the Bank ladder match, according to the commentators, but do with that what you will. Yeah, I wouldn't really like Chris Jericho to win. Everyone else wouldn't be bad. Zayn or Owens definitely wouldn't be a bad choice. Cesaro wouldn't be a bad choice. Del Rio, I mean, for the most part, this is not going to be a bad ladder match no matter which way it goes. I'm going to be happy if anybody pretty much besides Chris Jericho wins the Money in the Bank match. Although, knowing my luck, Chris Jericho will probably win now. But regardless, I don't know. That's the end of my predictions video. I can't believe I forgot to predict the Money in the friggin' Bank match for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view predictions video. I don't know. Oh, and also, there's only 6 participants listed. There's usually 7. Every Money in the Bank ladder match, there's been 7 people. So I don't know if this is a new thing where they're reducing the numbers from 7 down to 6, or if there's going to be a surprise entrant. I'm kind of hoping that it's maybe a surprise return, like a Randy Orton or something like that, or maybe it's a big debut from NXT, or maybe, I don't know, they made some surprise new signing and they want to enter him in. I don't know. Maybe it's, oh, Jesus, I have no clue. But yeah, I'm hoping that maybe they could just twist that a little bit. To have like a surprise entrant in there instead of just the 6 people, because that would make it that much more interesting. So anyway, that's the end of my predictions video officially. Money in the Bank 2016 should be fun. I'm gonna try to put this before my outro, or I might put it after my outro. I don't know, but regardless, I will see you for my predictions video, I suppose. I might be recording a video to come out before then, but I'm assuming I'll see you at my predictions video. See you then.